So, yes, we can see me playing with my hair because there are downsides to having massive hair. Still worth it. Still worth it to me, obviously, because it's not the first time. Anyway, so today I went to my first ever Oddities and Curiosities Expo. I believe it used to be called the Atlas Obscura Expo. Sorry, I had to move my dog, and I think she's a bit upset that I temporarily limited her access to me. It's fine. Anyway, first time ever. I was supposed to go last year, but then COVID happened. Yeah, that was not fun. And so I went this year, and I ran into a good handful of old friends, actually. Jigsaw, please. Hold on, I'll be right back. As I was saying. This year, I went to my first ever Oddities and Curiosities Expo. I have dreamt of this for a long time. I was supposed to go finally last year, but obviously COVID happened for the date that I was supposed to attend, the Dallas show. And so I was able to go this year, and I was beyond thrilled. And I do hope to be able to go to the Austin show in June, I believe. Especially mainly to take the taxidermy class, because there's a jackalope taxidermy class. And I would love to be able to do that, so I want to set aside money and, take a day trip, spend the day or whatever in Austin, but, that's in a few months. As of for right now, I had a great time, honestly, just walking around. I was with, obviously, some friends. I brought one friend with me, and then I ran into two others that I hadn't seen in ages before I even got this. And so it was great catching up with all of them. And so we all got different things. Everyone else got more interesting things than I did. I tried to keep my stuff limited and just try to get cards, just talk to different vendors, and see what I could possibly obtain in the future, since mainly I was just there to observe and see what all I could find. I did happen to get a hold of this little African bead rosary, sorry. This African bead rosary is gorgeous, to replace my old one that broke ages ago when I was attending PAX South. God, that was, what, 2017? Jesus Christ, that was ages ago. And so, this pelt, obviously, I didn't get there because I've already talked about it. But for the few things that I actually did obtain, besides this, definitely still not as interesting as my friend. One of my friends, they got a fetal goat, wet specimen, and I am beyond jealous of that. I was trying to keep my funds pretty limited and mainly just there to observe. But I did obtain a rabbit heart. So excited. It's a bit foggy because I've accidentally shook it up a few times. And, on the way back home, because, Dallas is a bit of a drive. But as you can see, my first ever wet specimen that I personally obtained. Now, I'm going to eventually learn how to make my own, but we're gonna worry about that in the future. One of my other friends, they got a medical saw, and I've always wanted one, but I just did not have the funds at the time for such. So instead, I got myself a very old syringe. I love antique medical devices so much. I wish to obtain way more. Here's a better look. Here you go. Let's see. I was so excited to get one of these. This was like so cool. and I really do hope I can obtain a hell of a lot more. I mean, I come from a family of doctors. Obviously, I went the opposite direction with taxidermy, but you get my point. And I still love like antique medical devices, medical displays, even if it is still human in nature. I don't care, honestly. I like it. It's antique, it's archaic, it's interesting, it's intriguing. I have a few limits. But oddity collecting is very rich. Not to be edgy on me. And then the last piece that I actually was able to obtain is part of a human rib. Still not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's very interesting. It's quite like lightweight. I mean, obviously it's an antique, it's a medical device, or medical display, because there's tons of medical displays. That's where a large percentage of human osteo sellings come from, antique medical devices and whatnot. There are all kinds, and I loved it. One of my friends wanted to go to last year's, and even has attended previous years, because they tend to have suspension with piercings and whatnot, and so they were sad that they weren't able to view that this year, but they're hoping in the next few realms that they can not only witness again, but participate themselves. I won't elaborate on who, because I met even more than were mentioned in or seen in my video. Good handful of people, actually. I was not shocked per se, but it was nice to see old faces after like everything. And it was actually so exciting. It was wonderful to actually just get to walk around and see everything, and like, well, one thing, not be the creepy outsider. If anything, I was quite welcomed. Apparently still technically overdressed, because I got a handful of people just fawning all over my attire that I coordinated quite well, I'd like to say. Hell, there was even a goat man who was like just telling me how awesome my outfit looked, and I wish I had a goat head myself. Granted, mine would be white, ideally. White, possibly yellow-eyed, whatever, who knows. And I talked to a few of the local curio shop owners as well, and that was quite fun. I've always wanted to either have my own or work adjacent to one. Well, I mean, still eventually have my own. Like, how many, especially black curio collectors, do you come across in shops, etc., etc.? And it's just like, I want to be able to make art, but also want to collect it and curate and be a professional curator and distributor and just artist and just overall a jack of many trades, even if I master none of them. But anyway, it was honestly so great, and I can't wait for the Austin one. I absolutely am dying to attend to that one, pun intended. Anyway, it was, I know, I'm just repeating the same words, all worthy of all kinds. Masterful. It was just, I didn't know what to expect, and I had so much fun, and it was definitely quite different atmosphere than an anime convention that I'm used to, and I like it. It was a lot more refined and retained and collected. It wasn't messy, it wasn't gawky, despite all the different pieces shown and seen. It was quite magnificent, but definitely not for the light of heart or the weak of stomach. You definitely need to be adjusted to, acclimated to, or just know your limits, essentially, for a good handful of pieces and whatnot. Because there are a lot of things and a lot of different ways. And so even the rabbit heart I have would definitely throw off a good handful of people who aren't used to that kind of like viewing. So, but honestly, yeah, I'd certainly attend again. I intend to attend again. If it's not the Austin one, then hell, it'll be something in the future. That's for damn sure. But until then, I don't know what else to tell you. I just had fun. It was great. Yeah. We'll see what the future may bring. Bye-bye. Also, before I even go, the amount of bugs. I was such in heaven to speak to other Shadowbox makers.
We might want Beetlejuice. I don't buy any serial killer memorabilia except the stickers. Like, I didn't buy any, like, actual, like, this was from a true crime location, which is what I was going to, but maybe not my opportunity.
Alright, so just got back from the Curiosity Expo. I have a rabbit heart. I have a antique syringe. It's really cool. And then I have a human rib. I also have a necklace I'm not fucking taking off. This one here got a fetal goat. Oh god. This is amazing. I didn't get anything interesting because I was broke, but it was still pretty cool.
The video?
I don't know what it is. Okay, alright.